If you're like me, you love to travel because of food, whether it's a hole in the wall, a popular tourist area, food stalls, or even experiencing convenience store food that's different from your country's. Throughout my trip, I did just that. I'll be introducing you to everything I ate in Japan, and the first place we'll be starting is in Osaka, also known as Japan's kitchen. First thing is Chibo Okonomiyaki in Osaka. It's located in Dotonbori, and if you're walking on the main street, you can't miss it. Look for a green sign that says Chibo. Okonomiyaki is a Japanese pan-fried dish that consists of batter, cabbage, meat, seafood, and other toppings you can choose from. There are more than one kind, so look through the menu to see which one's to your liking. I was excited to introduce my roommate to it, and she's never had it, and safe to say, she loved it. Another place also located on Dotonbori is Daikisuisan, a revolving sushi restaurant. I love revolving sushi because you can just grab what looks good off the conveyor belt, and at the end, they'll come over and count your plates and charge you accordingly based on the color of the plates. What I love about this place was how big the slice of fishes were. Of course, you can't go to Dotonbori without trying the famous takoyaki. It's made fresh on the spot, and you can choose from a variety of different flavors. It's one of my favorite snacks, and if you've never had them, I would highly recommend them. Takoyaki is a ball-shaped Japanese snack made of batter with diced octopus inside and topped with tempura scrap, ginger, green onion, takoyaki sauce, and mayo. There are multiple takoyaki stands located in Dotonbori, always with a line. I don't think there's a big difference because takoyaki usually taste the same, and every place I've had them has never failed. While we're still in Dotonbori, I have to recommend Ichiran Ramen. There's one by the bridge, and you can't miss it. Find the long line with this logo. Because this location is packed with tourists and the restaurant has limited seatings, you'll have to wait a bit, but trust me, it is absolutely worth it. Don't listen to travel snobs who tell you to stay away from touristy area. While yes, Japan has amazing ramen everywhere, if you're already in Dotonbori, give Ichiran a try. There's always room for more ramen later. They're known for being sort of a contactless restaurant, great for introverts, where you don't really have to interact with anyone. You order from a machine where you choose your ramen and additional sides, grab a paper and mark your ramen preferences. How rich do you like your broth? How much garlic, green onion, and chashu you would like, and spice level. Then you take this to your solo seat, place your ticket and order sheet down, and wait for your ramen. I can't wait to go back for Ichiran. They also have souvenir boxes to go if you like it as much as I did and want to take some home with you. In the middle of exploring, I was thirsty and stopped by a little cafe called Cafe LA. They're a very foreigner-friendly coffee shop and bar whose owner from LA brought a piece of home with him. You can find a mural of LA's Chinatown where he grew up. I ordered the pink grapefruit lemonade and it was delicious and so refreshing, especially after a whole day of walking. I inhaled that in seconds. Cafe LA has video game nights, board game nights, 1-coin espresso martini days, language exchange events, and more. If you know me, you know that I love shabu shabu or hot pot, the delicious boiling hot soup where you get to choose your own veggies, meats, and other ingredients to cook. I love curating my own pot and deciding how long to cook the ingredients. There were 2 shabu spots I've gone to. One was in Dotonbori, Osaka, which had an interesting layout. Each table was separated with these wooden frame and door, and you had to take your shoes off as the seating area sort of dips in. There's no English name on the sign, but I believe it's called Onyasai, and this is what the sign looks like. If you Google Dotonbori Shabu Onyasai, it should pop up. At Onyasai, it's all you can eat. You choose from a meat package and select the side dishes you want for the shabu. The other shabu place I went to was in Shibuya, Tokyo, called Nabezo. Also, all you can eat. It's located right next to the Disney store, close by the Shibuya crossing, where you'll take an elevator up. You choose which course you want, and each course has a list of selected meats you can choose from. The cool thing about this place is, instead of ordering the sides with the waiter, you just go up and grab them yourself. If you want to help yourself to another serving, you don't have to wait for anyone to come over unless it's the meat. Of course, in Japan, I had to experience the famous Pokemon Cafe. It's really challenging to get reservations, almost impossible actually, but I made a video on how to secure reservations and the link will be in the description below. We ordered the Gengar drink, a kid's meal, Pikachu cookie with coffee, and the main dishes. Decors were super cute for sure. You get a placemat with a random Pokemon and utensils with Chef Pikachu on them. The food was decent, but I would say it's just a one-time thing for me. Because the reservation is by time slots, by the end of your group's slot, Chef Pikachu comes out to greet the room and does a little dance exercise, encouraging us all to participate. On my way back, I passed by Pablo, a cheese tart stall in Dotonbori. It had a long line and I was craving dessert, so I decided to check it out. They had a variety of flavors, but since I hadn't tried anything sakura flavor yet during my time in Japan, I decided maybe I'll give this a try. It was a bit underwhelming, but what I should have done was also buy their classic flavor, which is probably what they're most known for. That's a good rule of thumb actually. If you're trying a new place, consider trying their classic flavor first. Real quick, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I saw this melon drink advertised all over Starbucks and was intrigued. It's the Melon Frappuccino blend that includes a honeydew blend, cantaloupe chunks at the bottom, and topped off with the melon flavored whipped cream. It was so good I had it twice in a day, possibly 4 times throughout my trip, but only because I found out about it later. If I had it in the beginning of my trip, I definitely would have had it more than 4 times. What I love about Japan is that it's solo friendly. A lot of the restaurants you'll find can accommodate just a party of 1 and it's very normalized. One place I went by myself was Yakiniku Like in Shibuya. The price on the poster was what got my attention. I saw meat and 580 yen, which is equivalent to $3.67 in USD, and I was intrigued. Yakiniku means grilled meat. You sit down in your stall, choose the meat or combo sets you would like from a tablet, and cook the meat to your liking. I love that you can fill the water on your own without calling over the waiters. Utensils and napkins are also provided in a drawer under the table. Very convenient. Because the sets are pretty cheap, you can also order more meat a la carte. Because I already had a snack before this, 1 set was quite enough, but on a typical day, I probably would order more meat. It comes with rice, soup, and kimchi. My set cost about 1,250 yen, which is a little under $8 USD. That is amazing. It's absolutely worth it, and I definitely will return next time. While you're not allowed to eat on a regular subway train, what's cool about the Shinkansen or bullet trains is because it's traveling a far distance, you can have a meal on board. Right in the stations, there are food courts and kiosks you can grab your food from. Considering the lines can get pretty long, be sure to make some time to grab them before the train takes off. The food court is usually located underground. There are full-on restaurants, coffee shop, toy stores, bookstores, and above ground, where you board the train, there are more kiosks, usually ready-to-go food in bento boxes. It took me a while to decide what to eat before boarding a train, but anytime I passed by 551 Horai in Dotonbori or the station, it always had a long line, so I assumed it's super popular. I decided to order a box of sumai and 2 buns, and it was pretty good. You can never go wrong with sumai and baos. On a previous trip, I bought bento boxes, which, as cute as it may be, wasn't as warm as I would have liked it, so that's why my next trip around, I went with hot steamed food. If you're afraid of missing your train, they also have bento boxes on board you can purchase from. I'm a sucker for Asian night markets and food stalls, which is why I always enjoy going to the Tsukiji Outer Market. Listen, you'll hear travel snobs talk about how it's just a tourist trap and all, but if it's your first time, you are a tourist, and I would recommend checking it out at least once just for the fun of it. With so many foods and snacks to explore in one spot, that's the best part. Buy a little of this and that, here and there, sample as much as you can. If you want a walkthrough of the market, I have another video titled Tsukiji Market, Walkthrough and What We Ate, and it'll be in the description below. There are stalls of dried seafood, fresh melons, uni, and let me just shout out my favorite poke stall. I'm sorry I didn't catch the name of the place, but it's the poke spot at the end of the aisle. It was my first time having poke, and the fish was so fresh. There are multiple bowls you can choose from with different fishes, and I was really impressed and I wanted to go back for more. Another thing I loved was the oysters. I've had my fair share of oysters in the States, but I have yet to come across one that was this big. The prices vary depending on the size, and I went with the big one. Next to the stall was a table with sauces, and you can use a bucket to throw away the shells. We also had calamari with sauce, dango, and mochi. I've always wanted to try the white strawberry, so I knocked 2 birds with 1 stone getting the white strawberry mochi. It was pretty sweet compared to a regular red strawberry. Of course, I got more calamari, and my friends bought a small box of white strawberries. Speaking of mochi, I accidentally stumbled across this famous mochi master in Nara named Mitsuo Nakatani. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, he's the world's fastest mochi maker. I didn't realize he was the same mochi master I've seen all over social media, but it was really cool to see him in action. It's so fascinating to see the speed and rhythm when he's pounding the mochi. The shop is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and they specialize in yomogi mochi, which is a sweet rice cake filled with red bean paste and dusted with kinako, roasted and sweetened soybean flour. Since it just came out of the machine, it was incredibly fresh and soft. Each piece was 180 yen, which is the equivalent of $1.14 USD. After we explored the Fushimi Inari shrine, we got hungry. Fortunately, our nose led us around the corner and we stumbled across the street food market. There were mochi, takoyaki, crab sticks, takoyaki, and of course my favorite, oysters. Be sure to get there before the sun goes down. During my first trip, I had no idea this existed because they had already cleaned up and we just wanted to make it to the gates for pictures. During my next trip, we got there earlier and got to experience the food market. One of my favorites, which still has me salivating to this day, is Gyukatsu. There are multiple locations throughout Japan. It's deep-fried beef cutlets that you cook and is often served with side dishes and sauces for dipping. I highly recommend it. I went about 3 times during one trip because that's how much I loved it. One cutlet is 1,630 yen, which is the equivalent to $10.30 USD. 1.5 cutlet is 2,300 yen, which is about $14.56 USD. 2 cutlet is 2,760 yen, which is about $17.47 in USD. This isn't just the cutlet itself, y'all. This is the set. It comes with rice, miso soup, and a little mochi for dessert. Come on, you can't tell me this isn't a great deal. Another spot I loved having a meal in was the Tokyo Skytree's food court area. It's located underground and there are a variety of restaurants to choose from Japanese to Western to Thai to Chinese. One thing I can't get over is the prices. Because of that, I ended up getting food from 2 spots. I ordered takoyaki or fried squid balls from Gendako for 550 yen and the oyakodon with deep fried chicken from Tori Ichimi for 890 yen. 1,440 yen is equivalent to $10.75 for lunch. Like, come on, $10 for this, and I had a little bit left over. In the States, the takoyaki itself would be $7 already. I haven't been around Japan much just yet, but Kyoto and Osaka are my favorite cities in Japan so far. If you find your way to Kyoto, which I highly recommend, you'll be surrounded with beautiful nature all around, especially if you make your way to the bamboo forest. In that vicinity, you will also find tons of food stalls to snack on. Located right by the entrance of the bamboo forest, you'll find stalls selling dango and sweet potatoes. I was tempted to get some because I hadn't eaten anything for breakfast yet, but there were still so many more stalls to explore. Don't fill yourself up too quick. Go explore, see what else is available, and maybe circle back. That way you won't stuff yourself before you find something else that looks even more delicious. I love me some fish cakes. Fish cake, siumai, dumplings, all the variation. So of course I stopped by this stall. They sold varieties of fried fish cakes, some with green onion, some with vegetable, another had bacon and cheese, one had shrimp and potato, and another had one with octopus. I went with the Kyoto pork siumai and the fish cake with green onion. On my way to look for more snacks, I came across some gift shops, so you can feel free to do some souvenir shopping in the area. A lot of the stores have souvenir boxes of their cookies and chocolates you can bring back home to gift people. I was craving desserts, so I made my way over to get some takoyaki, which is a fish-shaped cake dessert. They're not fish cake, just cakes shaped of a fish. They typically come with a choice of red bean, which is a popular flavor, or custard, which is what I went with. It wasn't bad. Next was the green tea ice cream. Kyoto is also known for the green tea, and one thing I highly recommend trying while you're in Kyoto is the green tea biscuit with white chocolate. I can't pronounce this, but it's on the screen. If I remember correctly, I could only find this in Kyoto, so be sure to check souvenir shops or department stores. They typically have them in the souvenir boxes. There's still a few more things to cover, but because we already reached the 20-minute mark, I don't want to bombard you with everything in one video, so there will be a part 2. Sorry for taking so long pushing out these Japan series videos. It really takes a lot to put together and edit with a full-time job, which is why I would be so incredibly thankful if you would like, subscribe, and share the videos with people you're planning your trip with. More views and likes help push my video into the algorithm, and it takes me one step closer to travel opportunities where I can document a lot more. I hope to return to Japan one day and gather more tips and recommendations. Just one small action of liking the video and watching other Japan series video would really help me get towards that, and I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If there's something you would like to see in the future, please let me know and I'll take some notes. In the meantime, stay safe and have a wonderful day.